book where the author starts out looking for ghosts, right? Something that's been forgotten, coming from where you were coming from. This was, as you said, something forgotten. But then when you go to these places, you find that it's still living, because there are communities tending to some of these gurdwaras. Some of the work of your mentor had already triggered some renewal and revival in those areas. So you start out looking for ghosts, and then you find there's not a ghost. It's something still alive and almost alive and well, but at least living. And then what emerges is that it's a question of locality, and it's a question of class. So you talk several times in the book about coming from a certain Pakistani Punjabi elite. That's the word that you use. And the way that elite in Pakistan has become somewhat disconnected from their Punjabi identity, especially Punjabi language. And where it's actually discouraged to speak in Punjabi. English is best, then Urdu, and then, as little as possible Punjabi. And then you find on this journey that actually many other people are, outside of that class and that kind of urban elite class. That culture is alive and well out there. So would you call writing this book a kind of redemptive act, an effort to redeem a lost past, specifically for a certain class of people in Pakistan? Do you think writing a book, especially a book, this is in English, for that class, right? Can a book do that? And in what ways is this a book about class, or a class that has sort of lost its sense of who and what it is, rather than just a book about national identity or religious identity? Is this a book actually about a class, an elite class?
I think it's a great question, and it's a slightly difficult question to answer, but I'm going to attempt anyway. So I think in my writing, I do mention consciously, as you pointed out, that I belong to a certain geographical location and I belong to a certain class, and I approach wherever I'm going from my own privilege. And sometimes you're absolutely shocked. So for example, Anand's done a lot of work on this as well. That we usually, so the conventional understanding is that the more educated you are, the more tolerant you are, and the less educated you are and the less tolerant you are. And we think of extremism and think of violence as something that only the uneducated people do, which is absolutely not true. I mean, the unfortunate incident, for example, that happened recently in Sri Lanka, and one of the masterminds behind that was somebody who had graduated from LSE. So it's actually not a very simple link between education and tolerance. I feel like, especially in India, Pakistan, I'm not sure about Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, for example, but in the India-Pakistan context, for example, I feel like at some level, our education system is very, very problematic. Our education system is promoting a particular understanding of history, and it is promoting a particular agenda. For example, in Pakistan, the very course Pakistan Studies, for example, the agenda behind that course is to promote a particular understanding of who a Pakistani is. And of course, whoever is a Pakistani is somebody who's, well, firstly, a Muslim, but a particular kind of Muslim. So he has to be a Sunni Muslim, and it has to be a he. Of course, she is not really part of the national identity, and of course he has to be a Punjabi, and even if we go to more detail, he has to be from central Punjab, from a very particular, so South Punjab is kind of marginalized. And in fact, that's where the irony or the contradiction of the country's identity also exists, because whereas on one hand, Punjab is so powerful, Punjab is